Good evening or afternoon, everyone, and welcome. I'd like to call the City of Homestead special call council meeting for the purpose of the second public budget hearing for the fiscal year 2024-2025 budget. Today is Tuesday, September 18th, 2024, and it is 5:01 p.m. Madam Clerk, would you call the roll, please?
Councilwoman Avila. Here. Councilman Cannonball. Here. Councilman Davis. Here. Councilwoman Bailey. Here. Councilman Roth. Here. Vice Mayor Fletcher.
Here.
Mayor Lawson.
Here. Mr. Manager, are there any additions, deletions, or deferrals?
None, Mr.
Thank
Mayor.
you. Our first order of business is item 4. We have a resolution under tab 1. Mr. Attorney.
Yes, before we begin, if I can just read the statement into the record. The City of Homestead's operating millage rate is 5.9604 mils, which is 1% less than the previous year's millage rate of 6.0206 mils, and the final voted debt millage rate is 0.258 mils. The rollback rate, millage rate is 5.014 mils. The operating millage rate of 5.9604 mils is 18.88% above the rollback rate of 5.0140 mils.
Very good. Would you read the resolution, please?
Certainly. Tab 1 is a resolution of the City Council of the City of Homestead, Florida, adopting the final operating millage rate of ad valorem taxation and adopting the final millage rate for debt service on the general obligation bonds for the fiscal year beginning October 1, 2024 and ending September 30th, 2025.
Thank you, sir. Mr. Manager.
Mr. Mayor, council members, staff recommends that the mayor and council adopt the attached resolution that provides for a final operating millage rate of 5.9604 per $1,000 of excess value of ad valorem taxation for real and personal property within the city. This millage rate is 1% lower than last year's operating millage rate and is to be implemented beginning October 1st, 2024, and ending on September 30th, 2025, which is the fiscal year 2025. A final voted death millage rate of 0.2580 per $1,000 of assessed value of ad valorem taxation for real and personal property within the city. This millage rate reflects a 0.0485 reduction from last year's debt millage rate of 0.3075 mils, and is to be implemented beginning October 1st, 2024, and ending on September 30th, 2025. Pursuant to Section 200.081 Florida statutes limiting maximum operating millage rates that municipalities may levy to 10 mils, we are actually expecting a gross taxable value of $6.061450,321 billion, an operating millage rate of 5.9604 mils. We yield ad valorem revenues at 95% for the city of $30,931,507, and for the CRA of $3.390 million, for a total of $34,322,235. At a gross taxable value of $6,061,450,321, a debt millage rate of 0.258 mils, we yield revenues at 95% threshold for the debt service of $1,485,661. At the first budget hearing on Tuesday, September 3rd at 5:30 p.m., we proposed operating at debt millage rates of 5.9604 and 0.285 respectively, and this passed approval by the mayor and council. So tonight, we're asking mayor and council to consider approving those rates that have been established at the first hearing. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Manager. I will open it up to questions or comments from council first, and then we'll open the floor for public comment. All right, we'll hold that in abeyance. Is there anyone here personally or online wishing to speak to the adoption of the millage rate for the coming fiscal year? All right, seeing none, I will close the public hearing, and if there are no further comments from council, I'd ask for a motion to approve tab 1, which is the setting of the millage rate. Moved by Councilman Cannonball. Second by Councilman Roth. There's nothing further. Let's have a roll call vote, Madam Clerk.
Councilman Cannonball?
Yes.
Councilman Davis?
Yes.
Councilman Roth?
Yes.
Councilwoman Bailey?
Yes.
Councilwoman Avila? Vice Mayor Fletcher?
Yes.
Mayor Lawson?
Yes.
The motion carries.
And moving on to tab 2. Mr. Pearl?
Yes, Mr. Mayor. Tab 2 is the second reading of an ordinance of the City of Homestead, Florida, adopting the budget for each of the several funds and departments of the city for the fiscal year beginning October 1, 2024, and ending September 30th, 2025, approving a capital improvement plan, providing for repealer, severability, and an effective date.
Thank you, sir. Mr. Manager?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. At this juncture, I would like to thank everyone for joining us today for this important budget meeting. Our goal has been to ensure that our city's financial resources are located in a way that best serves our community needs and priorities while utilizing transparency to promote public trust. Today, we are presenting what is the final version of our city's budget for the upcoming fiscal year. This budget has been carefully crafted based on extensive analysis and input from our elected officials and professional city staff, as well as feedback from the general public in our collective commitment to addressing the community's priorities. As we walk through the details, you will see how proposed allocations reflect our shared goals, enhancing public safety, investing in infrastructure improvements, supporting local businesses, enhancing parks and recreation, focusing on citywide efficiencies, streamlining and elevate city services to promote elevated service delivery, and strategic investments geared at elevating quality of life for all residents. We've worked diligently to strike a balance between these needs and fiscal responsibility, ensuring that our budget is not only sustainable, but also responsive to community priorities, while being proactive in anticipating future needs of the community. With that, I would like to ask Council and the Mayor to adopt the budget for several funds and departments of the City of Homestead for the fiscal year beginning October 1st, 2024 to September 30th, 2025. The total fiscal year 2025 proposed budget is $274 million, $16,953 in revenues and expenditures. This ordinance was passed on first reading on Tuesday, September 3rd, 2024. I'm asking Council to approve it today.
Thank you, Mr. Manager. Any initial questions or comments from council? All right, let me open the public hearing and ask if there's anyone who would like to speak to the adoption of the budget for the City of Homestead, including the Community Redevelopment Agency portion of the budget. Is there anyone online? All right, I'll close the public hearing then. Mr. Manager, I just want to sort of repeat what I think each of us have said at the prior couple of meetings. This is an entirely different feeling of confidence and satisfaction and true transparency and an effort of a professional manager and his staff and all of the department heads, most of whom are here tonight. And for those of you who are here, I want to thank you for being here and not being on vacation and seeing through this important event as your office ordains. Real feeling of confidence in the room, and I think optimism too, that we can do more with less, and we've shown that. It's not just a catchphrase, Carlos. We can do more with even less. So with that, I'll ask for a motion to approve tab 2, the budget.
I move it. And I want to say thank you, Mr. Manager. Okay? I feel very proud with this. Okay? Thank you very much.
Thank you. Do we have a second? Second by Councilwoman Avila. If there are no further comments, let's have a roll call vote, Madam Clerk.
Councilman Davis?
Yes.
Councilman Cannonball? Councilman Roth? Councilwoman Bailey?
Yes.
Councilwoman Avila? Vice Mayor Fletcher?
Yes.
Mayor Losner?
Yes.
The motion carries.
What a difference. Incredible. All right, there is nothing further for this special call meeting. Let me ask for a motion to adjourn. So moved and seconded. All in favor? Aye. Mr. Attorney, do we have to wait until 5:30 or can we roll right into the CRA meeting?
We have a few minutes. The meeting was noticed for 5:30, so we're going to wait.
Very good. So we will convene the CRA meeting at 5:30. Thank you all. Good evening, everyone, and welcome. I'd like to call the City of Homestead Community Redevelopment Agency meeting to order. It is Wednesday, September 18th, 2024, and it is now 5:30 p.m. Madam Clerk, could you call the roll, please?
Board Member Roth? Board Member Bailey? Board Member Cannavale? Board Member Avila? Board Member Davis? Vice Chairman Fletcher? Chairman Losner?
Here. Thank you. Mr. Good, do you have any deletions or deferrals?
No, Mr. Chair.
All right, we have before us
Mr. Mayor?
the,
James?
no, this is CRA.
Oh, okay.
We have before us the minutes from September 3rd. Do we have a motion to approve? Moved by the Vice Chair, seconded by Board Member Avila. All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? All right, moving on to tab 2. Mr. Attorney.
Yes, Mr. Chair. Tab 2 is a resolution of the Board of the Community Redevelopment Agency of the City of Homestead, Florida, approving the allocation of commercial enhancement grant program funds, approving the grant agreement, providing for implementation, and providing for an effective date.
Thank you, Mr. Good.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. So this is a commercial enhancement grant award to Esoteric Networks LLC DBAY Reboot. Esoteric Networks is located at 211 North Chrome Avenue, Homestead, Florida 33030. They applied for a commercial enhancement grant in the amount of $25,000. The location of the building within the downtown makes it eligible for a 90% contribution by the CRA and a 10% contribution by the applicant. The grant scope will cover the replacement of windows and doors from their current old style with the accordion shutters to being impact glass. And staff is recommending the CRA board approve this commercial enhancement grant award for Esoteric Networks LLC for the maximum allowable amount of $25,000. The owner of Y Reboot, Mr. Bjorn Jensen, is here present in the audience. If you have any questions for him, it's my understanding that they are in IT company. They're building this space out for an office where they will have their current 15 employees working, and they're hoping to grow up to 20 or 25 employees after the completion of their build out.
Very good. Well, welcome to downtown. Council, any questions or comments? Yeah. Okay, so moved by Board Member Avila, seconded by Board Member Bailey. If there's no further comments, let's see, do we need a roll call on this one? Yes, we have to have a roll call on this one.
Board Member Davis? Board Member Davis?
Yes.
Board Member Cannavale? Board Member Roth? Board Member Avila? Board Member Bailey? Vice Chairman Fletcher? Chairman Losner?
Yes,
The motion carries.
look forward to the improvements. Thank you. All right, let's move on to tab 3, Mr. Attorney.
Yes, Mr. Chair. Tab 3 is a resolution of the Board of the Community Redevelopment Agency of the City of Homestead, Florida, approving the allocation of residential improvement grant program funds, approving a grant agreement, providing for implementation, and providing for an effective date.
Mr. Good.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. So Miss Cynthia Harvey, now Miss Cynthia Thompson, is the homeowner at 1794 Southwest 6th Street, Homestead, Florida 33030. She has applied for a residential rehabilitation grant in the amount of $20,000. There are no matching funds for this grant, and her grant scope will cover a partial fence installation, exterior painting, and driveway repair. So staff is recommending that the CRA board approve the attached resolution authorizing the allocation of a residential rehabilitation grant in the amount of up to $20,000 to Ms. Cynthia Harvey at 1794 Southwest 6th Street. and Ms. Thompson is here in the audience.
Hi, good evening, welcome. We just need the record to show that you were here. Thank you. All right, do we have a motion to approve? Moved by Board Member Davis, second by Board Member Bailey. Roll call, Madam Clerk.
Board Member Bailey? Board Member Ross? Board Member Cannavale? Board Member Avila? Board Member Davis?
Yes.
Vice Chairman Fletcher?
Yes.
Chairman Losner?
Yes.
The motion carries.
And tab 4, Mr. Pearl.
Yes, Mr. Chair, tab 4 is a resolution of the Board of the Community Redevelopment Agency approving the conveyance of property to the City of Homestead, providing for implementation, providing for an effective date.
Very good.
So this is a housekeeping item. As we were reviewing the inventory list of CRA-owned properties, we discovered that there is a property identified by Folio 10 7812-029-0120, which is located at the corner of Northwest 15th Street and Northwest 2nd Avenue. This is actually outside of the CRA boundaries and is the location of a wastewater pump station, so it's appropriate for the CRA to grant this back to the city. So we're asking for your approval tonight to authorize that transfer, and there will be a sister car on the council agenda, car number 4342, that will be accepting that transfer.
Very good, thank you. Any questions? Mr. Vice Chair.
Yes, thank you. As we had this discussion, I know we recently renewed our CRA status with the county, but I did mention to the staff that maybe we ought to think about expansion of the CRA in some point in time, but that would take us to have a collective agreement and then forward that to the county and get their approval as well. But put that in your minds and think about it a little bit, and maybe let the manager know what your thoughts are. Maybe we can meet again here in the future. Thank you.
We appreciate that. All right, moved by the Vice Chair. Yes.
I just had a
Board
quick
Member
question,
Davis.
sir, for the city manager. That I know that corner, and you know, it's a bit overgrown. Is there a way for us in the city to put, now that it'll be under our umbrella, can we police that up, make it so kids can play, you know, soccer under there, what have you?
Okay, we'll look into that, sir.
Thank you.
I think really this is just an erroneous conveyance into the CRA many, many years ago, kind of dragnetted into a stack of other parcels. All right, is there anyone in the public wishing to speak on this matter? Didn't think so. We'll close the public hearing. Did we have a motion second already? I think we did. Yes. Yeah. Vice Mayor's motion, and yes. All right, roll call, Madam Clerk.
Board Member Ross? Yes. Board Member Davis?
Yes.
Board Member Cannavale? Board Member Avila? Yes. Board Member Bailey? Yes. Vice Chairman Fletcher?
Yes.
Chairman Losner?
Yes.
The motion carries.
Anything further, Mr. Good?
No, Mr. Chair.
And then I will invite any public comments with respect to CRA matters. Okay. Entertain a motion to adjourn. All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? All right, we will convene the regular council meeting in just another 20 minutes at 6 p.m. Thank you all. Good evening, everyone, and welcome. I'd like to call the regular city council meeting for the city of Homestead to order. Today is Wednesday, September 18th, 2024, and it is now 6 p.m. This evening, we'll have the invocation by Lunacel Alvarado, pastor of Ministerio Pentecostal, Aroca Eternal Church, followed by the Pledge of Allegiance with Councilwoman Bailey and the Homestead Police Explorers. Pastor? I still control that mic from here? No.
Good morning, everybody. Well, good afternoon, sorry. Let us all stand and bow our heads in prayer. If you permit, I'll read a Bible verse on Proverbs 16:3, which says, "Commit your work to the Lord, and your plans will be established." Dear Heavenly Father, we come before you today with grateful hearts, thankful for the opportunity to serve our community. As we gather for this council meeting, we seek your guidance and wisdom in all the discussions. Help us to listen with open minds and speak with respectful hearts. May our decisions reflect justice, compassion, and a commitment to the well-being of our residents. Grant us the strength to face challenges with courage and the humility to learn from one another. Let our actions foster unity and inspire hope within our city. We ask for your blessings upon every effort that's spoken of today, that they may lead to progress and prosperity for all. Amen. Thank you.
Thank you. Please be seated. Madam Clerk, would you call the roll, please?
Councilwoman Avila. Here. Councilwoman Bailey. Councilman Cannibal. Councilman Roth. Councilman Davis.
Here.
Vice Mayor Fletcher.
Here.
Mayor Losner.
Here. All right. We now have the public comments section of our agenda. I will first invite those up who have registered to speak, and I'll do so in the order in which they were clocked in at the clerk's office. So first, I'd like to call Susan Sorrentino forward and ask all of our speakers tonight to respect the 3-minute time limit.
Susan Sorrentino, 2610.
Oh, my God.
2610, is it right?
You can pull it down a little bit. There you go.
2610 Northeast 3rd Drive. I'm here because you're going to be talking about and voting on amending the art in public places. The information I want to share with you is the contributions to art in public places from the developers. Miami-Dade County, Delray Beach, Miami Gardens, North Miami, and Key Biscayne, they have 1.5%. We have 0.5%. We should be 1.5%. There are other cities who only collect 1%, but we're not in that category. In the state of Florida, $5.8 billion is spent on art and culture in the state of Florida. That piece of the pie, Homestead gets nothing. What we need to do is keep the money in Homestead that artists can contribute. Let's look at the big picture here. You'll also be looking at in lieu of funds. You want to revise it. Don't revise it, eliminate it. You can eliminate that. The developers should not have the ability to make their own decisions on their art simply because it's never worked in our city. Never. It's never worked. It ties up departmental services because then they have to deal with all the things that have to happen for in lieu of funds. They need to concentrate on getting the chrome sculpture finished and placed and dedicated. The wall, the mural wall, he needs to concentrate on that, and the banyan sculpture that goes for Parks and Recreation. That's important. Let's finish the projects that are already approved. So I urge you to take the funds from in lieu of that's out there now. I know there's 100,000 from Florida City Gas, and I know that, so there's more. I'm sure there's more. I haven't been involved here in 2 years. So If, if in lieu of funds, they have 90 days to get an approval for an art project. Hasn't happened. They have 9 months after completion when they open whatever the project is to install the project. Hasn't happened. Call the funds in. Get it out of the reserve that it's in right now. We have one person in Art and Public Places, David Hennis, who handles everything. As you add things to his plate of things he has to accomplish, yep. Is that over? All right,
Finish up with David.
thank you.
No, go ahead and finish up your comments on Mr. Hennis.
Okay. You all wanted 10 things to be put on the plate. I'm sorry. Be put on the plate for Art and Public Places money. We have $1.4 million right now. Had we revised it to 1.5 years ago, when it should have been, we would have had $3 or $4 million in that pot right now. So what should we do with that pot? Not the 10 things that you recommended for 2025. 2025, your work plan should be 2 or 3 things, but let's finish up what we've done. I suggest that we open a gallery so that artists in Homestead, which is south of Kendall and north of Key Largo, would have a place to sell their work. We have over 1,000 homes have opened on the east side. This gallery should be on the east side. Location, location, location. Let the people see that there is local art to be purchased. And we could do that with Art and Public Places funds. You hire a manager for the gallery, and they could handle it without involving poor David. You know, the person could work within our system here to make it happen. So I would just urge you to consider that. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. All right, our next registered speaker is Cardell Hayes.
Good evening, everyone. Cardell Hayes, 3910 Northeast 13th Drive. First, I want to tell everyone on the dais, thank you, thank you, thank you. Black Business Month was a success with all of you contributing, making everything across the street what we planned it to be. We had over $20,000 that was given out in grants to small businesses here in Homestead, Florida City. Thanks to you having that event, putting together what was necessary meant so much. We're now in a space to celebrate Hispanic Heritage Month. And so this is something from an organizational standpoint for South Day Connections. It means so much for us. It's for the community. The multicultural community, as we know, is growing, particularly from the economic empowerment perspective. I want to introduce to you Mary Dominguez. She is part of South Day Connections as a collaborator. Miguel Argulo, he is the owner of the all brand new Chivas Burgers that is right above the base area, a Colombian restaurant. And I'm going to give him a chance to speak real brief about it. Miguel.
How you guys doing? Good afternoon. Me and my family have had this business for a while. You know, we started with food trucks. You know, now we've been blessed to branch out into a restaurant. You know, it's something that we want to bring to the community, you know, to bring more light, you know, so you don't have to drive so far to enjoy yourself, you know, something that everybody could come and enjoy and have a good time and feel safe, you know, so a lot of different flavors and tastes, and, you know, we're here to make our stamp and create something that is going to last and is going to be something good for everybody, not just, you know, one-sided. Miguel Angulo.
The restaurant is
Chivas Burgers.
I'm going to give a few more details, Mary.
And very briefly, I'm Mary Dominguez, the proud owner of parenting moments, and a member of South-Dade Connections. I am here representing my Hispanic heritage as Colombian as well. Excited that our event is going to take place at Chivas Restaurant, and I know you're going to get a few more details. Just said my Hispanic heritage. Here's my book, Espíritus Esclavos, and I'm happy that we're going to be able to share that.
She is always trying to get that shout out. Thank you, Mary. So what's more important is for the community. The event is on September 27th, Chivas Burger, 6 p.m. I know I spoke with Councilwoman Avila, so the support is real, and when it comes to the dais. Nothing on the level of financial, but just the support, because what the community loves is when the leaders come out and see that there is love in the room. So we're planning resources for access to capital. We're planning informational when it comes to continue business training. All of these things that are necessary for businesses to sustain. We just don't give money for no reason, right? We look forward to always continue to improve what is necessary here in the Far South area, right here in Homestead. This is where it started. So again, this is next Friday from 6 p.m. to 10 p.m. So due to the work that the City of Homestead has done for us, South-Dade Connections, the entire administration, including the CRA and everyone on the dais, is free. Let me repeat that. That goes a long way. It is free. Did you hear that in the CRA? All right. Well, thank you. But it's so important for the community to come together and talk about what is necessary for economic empowerment and to see our leaders in the community, particularly for something as rich as Hispanic heritage. So if there's any questions, please reach out to me. I'm going to be here for probably another 10 to 15 minutes before I leave. We do have a flyer out there. I apologize I didn't get the flyer to you soon enough so it could be displayed. But we do have our newsletter, other platforms that we're going to post it on, and also I'm going to give it to Ambassador Day so that hopefully we can get it on Homestead's channel also. So thank you. Appreciate it.
Where is this restaurant? What's the address of the restaurant?
27800 Southwest, 127 Ave.
127?
Yeah.
Okay.
Right next to the Homestead Air Base
Okay.
on the south side.
Thank you. And what's that code again?
Todos somos uno. That's our code.
Yo también soy colombiano.
Very good. Thank you.
Thank you, guys.
All right. All right. Is there anyone in the audience wishing to make a general public comment, not geared to anything on the agenda? Mr. Powell, come on down.
Ms. Sewell she's passing out for your convenience a handout which is a 4-year plan by the Alliance for Aging, of which Clara, my wife, and I are on a supervisory committee to the board of the Alliance. That Alliance for Aging, the feds, the Older Americans Act, the funds that come down for the elderly come to the Alliance. I am an advisory to that board. That board is entrusted with carrying out the demands, the laws, the regulations of caring for elderly. Now, you'll look at, I just took out 4 or 5 pages of an 84-page plan, and a while ago, I thought on one of our agendas was, what do we do for seniors in case of emergency? Well, I'm a senior. I'm not bedridden. I'm not disabled. I understand English. And I didn't know what to do to ask for help. Where do I go if I need some transportation? I'm sick. I can't pay my mortgage. I don't know. Look at page 2. You will see that there are a number of hotlines that are available. One is for the Alliance. The other one, and I don't know if you've ever heard the term SHINE, but that is a program to help people get on and understand Medicare, Medicaid. That's the SHINE program. Okay? The county of Dade has the highest percent of 65 and older population in the state. It's 26%, 65 and older in Miami. Homestead, I don't know. I don't know if it's got an aged population or not, but your concern was what do we do with them? We've got transportation issues, we've got loneliness, we've got separation, we've got COVID, we've got so many things for these elder people. They're disabled, they're trouble with the language. Where do you go? Well, you go here. And what I did put it for you is this preparedness in case of emergency, back here, the third page. And if you look, the next 3 pages are the places that get involved in the emergency with phone numbers. So I am offering to the mayor, to the council, to the city manager, to be a lead in Homestead to push for help for our seniors. A hotline, meals, transportation. Do we have pickup for seniors to take them places? Do we have meals for them? I know we just gave the soup kitchen a nice little donation. I just donated 2 5-gallon pots to them, and she had one that she could do her thing in. But are we doing enough for our seniors? And we also need you to go to our legislators. The Older Americans Act, now that COVID's come down, they're cutting into that. They're not expanding the monies in that pot. And the demand is now doubling and tripling. This group that answers the phone gets over 160,000 phone calls a year for help. Okay? I want you to allow me, if you will, to be the Homestead bearer of, let's get the word to all the seniors. Anybody know senior 65 and older in Homestead? Anybody know them? Well, I'm one of them. Okay, and I'm here, and there is a lot available, but you got to know where to do it. And if you couldn't get out of the house, where do you go to get that help? I think that city manager, I'm willing, able, I'd love to have a committee. You give me a room, you give us a phone, we'll get out some flyers. Maybe we put a flyer in the utility bill that says, hey folks, you're 65 and older, here's a phone number for you. You know, get that word out to somebody. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Powell.
Thank you.
All right. Anything further? Anyone online? Anyone further in the chambers with a general public comment? Hey, good evening.
Good evening. Hi, my name is Trevon Brown. First off, I would like to thank the city for allowing me to have my first annual breast cancer walk last year in October. This year, I would like to have my second annual breast cancer walk over at Roscoe Warren Park, October 26th. It's a free event for the community, just to spread awareness of breast cancer for everyone in the city of Homestead. First off, the main reason and purpose of the event is my auntie was diagnosed with breast cancer a year ago, and she's still a survivor. So just to let other survivors come out, I'm now connected with different organizations who I wasn't connected with before, breast cancer survivors, such as Sisters in Pink and Prayer in Pink, which are organizations who will be gathered in with me to make this event bigger than what it was last year. And to get assistance from the city to make the event bigger, to be able to host more events at the park and make the walk a success.
Very good. So is there something that you need from the city or from the council, or?
Just to get the park secured. I'm working with Councilwoman Jennifer Bailey just to get the park secured, and also just want to spread more word of the event that's coming on October 26th.
Okay. Very good. So far you're under control with getting the park secured. All right, and for the record, let us have your address.
1740 Northeast 35th Avenue.
Yeah, thank you. All right. Appreciate it. Thank you for letting us know.
Thank you.
Good evening. Sorry. Good evening, Mayor and Council and City Manager and staff. Brandy Ramirez, 2231 Southeast First Street. On behalf of Pray in Pink organization, we just wanted to invite Mayor and Council to the upcoming Survivors Brunch. It'll be October 12th from 11 a.m. to 3 p.m. I'll definitely be forwarding you guys by email the information in case you guys can be in attendance. That would be great. Also, the other item I wanted to mention, through Together for Children for the nonprofits. We have many nonprofits in the audience today. Just want to ask Mayor and Council to continue supporting SOS. They're part of our coalition. They do great work in the community, and just so that they can continue their home in the police department. So thank you very much and have a good evening.
Thank you. Anyone else? Anyone else wishing to make a public comment? All right, seeing none, I will close the public comments portion of the agenda. All right, Mr. Manager, do we have any additions, deletions, or deferrals?
Yes, Mr. Mayor. Tab number 10 is PH 2024-25. Final plat is for Adrian Builders at North Canal Drive, LLP. Is being pulled from the agenda and deferred to a date yet to be determined. It's a deferral.
Very good. We have a motion to defer this item. Moved by the Vice Mayor, second by Councilman Cannibal. Indefinite deferral? Would that be the correct terminology, Mr. Mayor, or Mr. Attorney?
Yes, we don't have a date certain for this item.
All right. We need a roll call? Matt, do we need a roll call on that?
No, we
All
do
right.
not.
All in favor? Any opposed? All right. Does that conclude the additions, deletions, and deferrals? Mr. Manager, does that conclude any of the changes to the agenda? Okay. All right, we have before us the consent agenda. I'll entertain a motion to approve the consent agenda. Moved by Councilwoman Avila, second by Councilman Davis. Any comments? All in favor? Any opposed? All right, Mr. White.
Yes, please be advised the following item on the agenda is quasi-judicial in nature. If you wish to comment upon this item, please indicate that you would like to address this item when the quasi-judicial item is made. An opportunity for persons to speak on this item will be made available after the applicant and staff have made their presentation on this item. Swearing in, all testimony, including public testimony and evidence, will be made under oath or affirmation. Additionally, each person who gives testimony may be subject to cross-examination. If you do not wish to either be cross-examined or sworn, your testimony will be given its due weight. The general public will not be permitted to cross-examine witnesses, but the public may request the council to ask questions of staff or witnesses on their behalf. The full agenda packet on this item is hereby entered into the record. Persons representing organizations must present evidence of their authority to speak for the organization. Further details of the quasi-judicial procedures may be obtained from the clerk. In accordance with Code Section 2-590, any lobbyist must register before addressing the council on this item. At this time, council members must disclose any ex parte communications concerning this agenda item, which would be tab 9.
Any disclosures on tab 9? Nope.
And hearing none at this time, I'd ask anyone in the audience who's wishing to speak on this item, please stand, raise your right hand to be sworn by the clerk.
Do you hereby swear affirm to tell the truth and nothing but the truth, so help me God? Thank you. You may be seated.
Tab 9, car number 4381 is a resolution of the City of Homestead, Florida, approving a special exception as requested by Leclerc Elite Properties, LLC, for the development of a single-family dwelling unit on an approximately 6,850 square foot parcel within the multiple apartment R3 zoning district located at 904 Northeast 5th Avenue, as legally described in Exhibit A and providing for an effective date.
Before we go forward with the staff report, we had kind of set a policy that the applicant needed to be present. I didn't see that the applicant stood. The applicant's here. Okay. All right, no, that's fine. Just wanted to make sure that the applicant's representative was here before we went forward. Good, thank you. All right. Mr. Gordino.
Sir, thank you very much. Staff recommends that the mayor and council approve this special exception to the city code section 30-2206-1 permitted uses. What this is, we've done this, I think, for the last 3 council meetings. This is the allowance of a single family home in the R3 district. The code allows us by special exception to permit it if it is, if the surrounding neighborhood is similar to that. And what we have here is that that is exactly the case. Surrounding the property are 3 single-family homes, a vacant site, and a multifamily medium residential use. So we felt that the surrounding neighborhood was similar to what they're proposing, and so we're recommending approval again for this. Thank you.
Very good, thank you. Council, any questions or comments on this one? All right, sir, if you could just come to the podium and give us your name and address for the record. You've identified yourself as the applicant's representative. We just want to put you on the record as being here.
My name is Orlando Casar. It's 9 Northeast 5th Avenue. That's basically the address, and yes. That's what
Very
we
good.
want to do.
Thank you. It's all we needed. I want to hang around if there are any questions. All right. Any public comments? Public comments. I'll close the public hearing and ask for a motion to approve this item. Moved by Councilman Cannonball. We have a second by Vice Mayor Fletcher. Roll call, Madam Clerk.
Councilman Roth?
Yes.
Councilman Davis? Councilwoman Avila? Councilman Cannonball? Councilwoman Bailey? Vice Mayor Fletcher?
Yes.
Mayor Losner?
Yes.
The motion carries.
Thank you. Have at it.
Thank you all very much. Have a wonderful
Thank you. Okay, tab 10 has been deferred. Moving on to tab 11, Mr. Pearl. Or is it Mr. White? Okay.
Tab 11 is the first reading of an ordinance of the City of Homestead, Florida, amending the City Code of Ordinances by amending Chapter 32, Design Guidelines, Article 5, Public Art Program, providing for severability, providing for inclusion in the code, providing for conflicts, and providing for an effective date.
And who's going to give us the staff report?
I can. So at your July 9th Cal meeting, there was a discussion that you all had regarding the Chrome Avenue statute. During that conversation, you all also discussed making modifications or changes to the existing public art guidelines. So this ordinance reflects those requested changes, and they are simply to roll back what you all had originally adopted in 2010 with regards to the thresholds and applicability and contributions for developers. So if you look at your ordinance, the packet, the 2 sections that are changing are sections 3238 and section 3239. And those thresholds amounts reflect the original 2010 ordinance when you adopted the public art program, what those dollar amounts and thresholds were. Subsequent to the initial adoption in 2010, I think a couple years later, you all modified to reduce the threshold numbers given the economic downturn, and that's what's been in place for the past several years. So this rolls back and increases those threshold dollar amounts and contribution amounts to what you originally adopted. So if you have any questions, I'll be happy to answer those.
All right, thank you. Council? Yes, Councilwoman Bailey.
Thank you, Mayor. So as much as I would like to jump up to 1.5, I do think that that might be a little too big of a jump, but I would be interested to hear what you all think about considering eliminating the in lieu of funds, especially since we sit as that board now, and we have quite a nice groupings of things that we want to see happen. I think that we could consider getting rid of that piece. If 1.5 is something that we are seeing close by and is something that you think we could realistically do, then by all means. So I'd be curious to hear what you think about jumping to the 1.5 if we should keep at 1, and again, if you would be okay with eliminating that piece of it.
Which piece is that?
The in lieu of funds.
Well,
piece.
but I think, and correct me if I'm wrong, I know Ms. Sorrentino addressed the in lieu of, but I believe she was addressing the placement of art on the site by the developer. And you have three choices: either pay the fee to our fund, donate a piece of art, and we decide where it goes, or placement of the art on site. So I think
Right,
the,
yes.
while the lay term is in lieu of, I think what was intended was to eliminate the placement of art on the site by the developer. So that we would have the remaining options of either donating the art piece, then it would have to be agreed to and accepted by council, or pay into to the fund. Is that correct, Ms. Sorrentino? Let me invite you down to clarify what your thoughts were as the longtime chair of the Art and Public Places Committee.
My thought is to eliminate it all. Why have someone donate a piece of artwork that maybe all of you would not be in agreement to? I say eliminate it. Let them put the money into the major fund. All of you decide how to spend it. So no donations, just the 1.5 into the Art and Public Places funds, and you decide how to spend it.
Just so you know, the donation of public art language in the proposed amendment says the option of donating art which has been approved by the Public Art Committee and City Council,
Who
which
knows
is which
what
is
we
us,
could get?
having a documented minimum value of that.
Since the
that-
beginning of time, there hasn't been any approvals.
Okay.
So just to
It doesn't
finish-
work. Eliminate it.
Just to finish real quick, that was one of my first questions when I had my sit down with staff. But who knows what somebody has that we might want and they don't feel is as beneficial. So nobody's proposed it, so I don't think it hurts. But I would agree with them strictly contributing to Art and Public Places funds. Thank you, Mayor.
And pull in the funds that are in escrow now.
What's that?
There's funds in escrow now.
Correct.
And in lieu. Pull the funds into your major funds.
Well, they're all in the art fund. They're all accounted in that one fund.
Yeah, but if it's not going to be used in lieu of, it should be used in general funds.
Well, I think you're speaking to the Florida City Gas Project, that they were going to do their own.
Right.
And that's what they availed themselves of under the ordinance that was in effect at that time. You know, we can't change that without their consent.
It hasn't been approved. It hasn't been presented in the timeline that our city requires. Our timeline is 60 days from when they pull their permit. Their timeline is when their project is complete, it has to be within 9 months. Years have passed. What are we waiting for?
So, and that's something we'll probably have to deal with the attorneys. I mean, you can't build that specificity as to that project into this amendment, but we can prevent someone in the future from having these same issues.
But the requirements of the things that happened before haven't been met. That's all I would
Okay.
want you to consider.
Fair enough. Fair enough. So, and I would agree, and I'm not a fan of allowing the builder to place art on the site. And I use the example of the parking lot sculpture. Well, it's a kind of a neat sculpture. It's hidden in a hotel parking lot out of the main public view. It really doesn't serve a lot of purpose. So I think that Councilwoman Avila wanted to chime in.
Thank you, Mayor. Thank you, Ms. Sorrentino. I was asking staff in my briefings about the consistency of a 1.5 compared to other entities, and it's pretty to par. So I'd like to see us make that increase. And I like the opportunity of having options within our policy for art. But I do want development services to implement our timelines. So if we do have any funds out there or any promises to turn in art and it hasn't been done, we should call those funds due. But in general, either they pay or they donate and we decide where it goes. So I think that's what you were recommending, Mayor. Those two items. So we're
Well,
striking
I
the
was just,
third.
yeah, if we're going to have the option for someone to donate, we don't
Right.
want to foreclose, and we don't have to accept it.
Exactly.
And that would default back then to
Exactly.
a payment.
Right. And then I would like to increase it to the 1.5. Thank you.
Okay. Oh, yeah, sure, Councilman Roth.
Yeah, why not? So, I agree with Mrs. Sorrentino that if they want to donate a piece of art to us, we have to make a decision on that. Why can't we eliminate it from the code now? And if they want to present art to us prior to them having to pull permits or whatever the process is, then that council, whomever that may be at that time, can make a decision whether they want to accept that art or not. I've seen it fail in the past, and I think if we take that option away, it leads to clarity, right? You're just going to pay us 1.5% of whatever the project is. We make a decision on what we do with that public art money. So I think it just gives clarity to the department as well, that they don't have to argue with anybody. Well, they said they can, no, you can do this, but if you want to go before council and present your piece of art to them, then they can make a decision if they want to accept that in lieu of the payment. So, my 2 cents.
Kind of on the analogous to a special exception. Yeah. Did you have something? Oh, okay. Yes.
No, I think because the way this is structured, right, this is a fee. We're making a determination that it's not an impact fee, it's a public art fee. And so there needs to be some certainty with regards to the applicability and what the threshold is, right? So you can't have it set up where it's a special exception, but if you don't accept the art, then they have to come back and they have to pay the fee. I think you just have to set it up as they can choose. I think that's important for the legal viability of this program.
So, correct me if I'm wrong, what I'm hearing is we either, well, let me ask it this way. If someone came in and proposed option A2, the donation of public art, and the council rejected the piece of art, is it clear then that the option, well, under the current ordinance, would be either pay the fee or place the piece of art anyway on site? So let's say that we move forward and amended this ordinance to remove option 3, the placement of art on site. What would be the scenario then if the council rejected the proposed donation of art?
Then I think the applicant would be left with having to pay the in lieu fee.
Okay. The option 1, just to pay the fee. Yeah, and well, should we still call it the in lieu fee? How about an in lieu donation rather than the in lieu fee?
Well, the whole thing is that you're not this is a program in which there are options built in, right? So you can, an applicant can choose, right? It's unlike an impact fee, right? Because person
You just
can-
pay.
Right. So the nuance here is that there are options built in. Now, the reality is most people don't choose option 2 or 3, they choose option 1. I think you've only had 2 or 3 instances in the whole time frame since 2010 where an applicant has proffered public art on site that you all have approved. And I don't think in any case has anyone proposed a donation of public art for you all to accept.
So, I guess to be on good legal footing, we need to leave at least a second option on the table, which, from my perspective, should probably be the option to donate public art. And we decide yay or nay and where it goes.
And to clarify on that, James, would we be in the right to have it appraised and to verify that the value they are suggesting is in fact the value and make that as part of how we determine to reject or accept?
Right. Correct. It has to be it has to have a documented minimum value of that 1%.
Who pays the appraiser?
They would have to. And I would also say that art, the donation of art, would need to be in line with your master plan along the type of art that you all have already set out in your master plan.
Even better, but it does still strike me as a concern of the idea that there were promises to provide art and the timing it wasn't done within the right timing. So I'd like for staff to look into that and just so we can get some clarity and some understanding on where there might have been some breakdowns in our process so we can improve that in general. Thank you.
Okay. Councilman?
James, I have a question. Do we have to give them two options, is that right?
At least two.
So can we give them an option to pay 2% or 1.5%?
That's a good one.
Well, I think you need to mandate a minimum of whatever you want the percentage to be. I'm not sure I understand your question.
So we get paid either way, and there's no in lieu of.
No donation of art, yeah.
If we have to give them options.
Those aren't real options, I guess, is the answer.
Can we get some creativity be creative with the options? Does it have to be cash or donation, or could there be something else that we can consider?
Well, the other option is that they would donate, they would come to you with a proposal for a piece of art that they place on site that you all approve based on evaluation and based on the location.
Okay, what about if there's pay in full or have a payment plan? Are those two valid options? Just asking. So there's just one option in terms of no donation, you have to contribute, but you have options on how you contribute. You can pay in full or you can pay in over 2 years. Is that a valid option?
I mean, that's up to you all how you would like to do that, but I mean, if you're trying to have an applicant pay at the time when they have to pay all their other fees, right? Like, I'm not sure how, I've never seen that. I'm not saying that you can't do it, but I'm not sure what a payment plan would look like.
Good luck collecting it once they've got their CO and they're up and running. Mr. Vice Mayor?
I think we're taking this way out into the weeds, and we're overthinking this. I would offer that we follow the original motion by Councilwoman Avila to increase to 1.5% and add the eliminate option 3.
And all other inconsistent provisions in this draft. So, is that your motion, Councilwoman?
Yes.
Councilman Cannibal has seconded it? No, go ahead. Anything else? No? Okay. All right, let's open the floor to the public.
1.5%, right?
1.5 across the board.
Thank you.
All right. Nothing further. We'll close the public hearing and ask for a roll call vote on first reading.
Councilman Roth? Yes. Councilman Cannibal? Yes. Councilwoman Bailey? Councilman Davis? Yes. Councilwoman Avila? Vice Mayor Fletcher?
Yes.
Mayor Lawson?
Yes.
The motion carries.
All right. Thank you all.
Mayor, I have a question to clarify. That also includes properties and development within the CRA, right?
Yes, this is applicable citywide.
Okay. All right. Wow, it got quiet. All right, moving on to tab 12. Mr. Pearl.
Yes, Mr. Mayor. Tab 12 is a resolution of the City Council of the City of Homestead, Florida, approving an amendment to the employment agreement between the city manager and the City of Homestead, providing for implementation, providing for an effective date.
All right. And as I understand it, this is necessary to implement the
Supplemental
the
payment.
supplemental payment
Payment
that
that the,
we approved to be included in the budget.
correct.
This, by state statute, this provision must be included in the manager's contract. This accomplishes that.
Correct.
Questions? Any public comments? All right, it's been moved by Councilwoman Avila, seconded by Councilman Cannonball. Roll call.
Councilwoman Bailey? Councilman Roth? Yes. Councilman Davis? Vice Mayor Fletcher?
Yes.
Mayor Losner?
Yes.
The motion carries.
And moving on to tab 13. Mr. Pearl?
Tab 13 is a resolution of the City Council of the City of Homestead, Florida, approving a change order to the roof repair agreement between the City of Homestead and Garland DBS Inc., providing for implementation, providing for an effective date.
Who's got the staff report?
So, Mr. Mayor and Council, this resolution is to accept an amendment to an existing contract with a vendor for the replacement of the roof at 653 Southwest 4th Street. This is the proposed office location for code compliance and also the administrative office of Parks and Recreation. The contractor had requested for an additional $27,868 to bring the total cost of the project to $157,000 with a 10% additional services overhead. So we are recommending council to accept the change order request and to approve it so that we can finalize the installation of the roofing, so that our folks in code compliance can move into their office as well as parks.
Council, any questions or comments? I'll open the public hearing. I'll close the public hearing. Do we have a motion to approve? Moved by Councilman Ross, seconded by Councilman Cannonball. Let's have a roll call vote, Madam Clerk.
Councilwoman Bailey? Councilman Cannonball? Councilwoman Avila? Councilman Roth? Councilman Davis? Vice Mayor Fletcher?
Yes.
Mayor Losner?
Yes.
The motion carries.
And moving on to tab 14, Mr. Pearl.
Yes, Mr. Mayor, tab 14 is a resolution of the City Council of the City of Homestead, Florida, confirming a declaration of a state of emergency authorized by the city manager, providing for implementation, and providing for an effective date.
Mr. Manager.
So, Ms. Mayor and Council, I'm happy to report that the contractor for this work has mobilized to site, even though he's yet to receive a notice to proceed. He seems to be ahead of the line in order to meet the compliance deadline that we impose on this project. I will encourage folks to go out there and look at the construction work. It's novel. It's something that has never been done in Saudade. It's called a directional drilling, where majority of the work is going to be trenchless. They're not going to be digging up the street except at specific location where the pipe is going to be inserted into the ground and at the end of the location where it's going to exit. However, there will be a lot of traffic reroutes through maintenance of traffic. What we've done is to send out flyers to folks who live within 1 mile radius of the project site, as well as businesses within that area. And if you notice, if you've driven around the area of the project, which is Maury and Southeast 6th Avenue, you will probably see project signage that is being installed to show that the City of Homestead is being transparent. It gives you the project information. It gives you its email address to send us complaints if you have challenges. And also it gives you the project description, and it gives you the cost of the project so that everybody sees where the tax dollars are going. And also it gives names of all the elected officials. This is in the spirit of transparency, and congratulations, Councilwoman Bailey, for being the trailblazer in the new signage program for the City of Homestead's capital projects. This is good for visibility. If visibility and optics, people will see it, they don't need to call you. They stand there and they know what exactly is going on. Now, there will be a lot of traffic impacts as this project rolls back. So we encourage people to be patient and to see that the greater good is being accomplished to dig us out of the moratorium we find ourselves.
Very good. Thank you, sir. Any questions or comments from council? Any public comments? We'll close the public hearing and ask for a motion to approve. Moved by Councilwoman Bailey, second by Councilman Cannonball. Roll call, Madam Clerk.
Just before the roll call, I've just been corrected that the flyers were sent to properties and businesses within 300 feet of the project, not 1 mile.
All right, roll call.
Councilwoman Avila? Councilwoman Bailey? Councilman Davis? Councilman Cannonball? Vice Mayor Fletcher?
Yes.
Mayor Lawson?
Yes.
The motion carries.
And moving on to tab 15, Mr. Pearl.
Yes, Mr. Mayor, tab 15 is a resolution of the City Council of the City of Homestead, Florida, accepting the property conveyance to the City of Homestead by the Community Redevelopment Agency of the City of Homestead, Florida, providing for implementation and providing for an effective date.
And if there are no objections, we'll waive the staff report. You get public comments. Been moved. It's moved by Councilor Ross, seconded by Vice Mayor Fletcher. Roll call, Madam Clerk.
Councilman Cannonball? Councilwoman Avila? Councilman Davis? Councilman Ross? Vice Mayor Fletcher?
Yes.
Mayor Lawson?
Yes.
The motion carries.
And tab 16, Mr. Pearl.
Yes, Mr. Mayor, tab 16 is a resolution of the City Council of the City of Homestead, Florida, authorizing the city manager to approve all budgeted new and replacement vehicle equipment purchases for fiscal year 2025, providing for implementation and providing for an effective date.
You have staff report?
This is actually being done by procurement and in the spirit of expediting the acquisition process.
Very good. Thank you. All right. Do we have a motion? Moved by Vice Mayor. Second by Councilwoman Bailey. Any public comments? Close the public hearing and ask for a roll call vote, Madam Clerk.
Bailey? Councilwoman Avila? Councilman Davis? Councilman Ross? Councilman Cannonball? Vice Mayor Fletcher?
Yes.
Mayor Lawson?
Yes.
The motion carries.
And tab 17, Mr. Pearl.
Yes, Mr. Mayor, tab 17 is a resolution of the City Council of the City of Homestead, Florida, approving a purchase transaction for the installation of protective relays for electric utility line number 4 between the City of Homestead and PowerServe Technologies, Inc., providing for implementation and providing for an effective date.
Any problem waiving the staff report? Didn't think so. Any public comments on this item? Close the public hearing. This item's been moved by the Vice Mayor. Do we have a second? Second by Councilwoman Avila. Roll call, Madam Clerk.
Councilman Davis? Councilwoman Bailey? Councilwoman Avila? Councilman Cannonball? Councilman Ross? Vice Mayor Fletcher?
Yes.
Mayor Lawson?
Yes.
The motion carries.
And moving on to tab 18.
Yes, Mr. Mayor, tab 18 is a resolution of the City Council of the City of Homestead, Florida, approving a license agreement between the City of Homestead and Start Off Smart, Inc. for access and use of the police facility to assist victims through community-based programming, providing for implementation, and providing for an effective date.
And we could waive a staff report. All right, moved by Councilman Roth, seconded by Vice Mayor Fletcher. Any public comment? Close the public hearing. Roll call, Madam Clerk.
Councilman Ross? Councilwoman Bailey? Councilman Cannonball? Councilwoman Avila? Councilman Davis? Vice Mayor Fletcher?
Yes.
Mayor Lawson?
Yes.
The motion carries.
Tab 19, please.
Yes, Mr. Mayor, tab 19 is a resolution of the City Council of the City of Homestead, Florida, accepting a grant award from the Children's Trust of Miami-Dade County for contractual support services to families exposed to violence, approving the grant agreement, establishing a budget for the expenditure of grant funds in the amount of $700,000, providing for implementation, and providing for an effective date.
Hasn't this come before us? We've been briefed on the background. Is there any questions from council on this item? No questions from council? Is there any public comment? Seeing none, I'll close the public hearing. This item's moved by Councilman Cannonball, seconded by Councilman Roth. Let's have a roll call, Madam Clerk.
Councilwoman Bailey? Councilwoman Avila? Councilman Ross? Councilman Davis? Councilman Cannonball? Vice Mayor Fletcher?
Yes.
Mayor Losner.
Yes.
The motion carries.
And tab 20.
Yes, Mr. Mayor. Tab 20 is a resolution of the City Council of the City of Homestead, Florida, authorizing the city manager to issue work authorization to Southern Corrosion as an authorized sole source purchase for the painting of United States 250th anniversary logos on the city's elevated water tanks, providing for implementation and providing for an effective date.
Thank you. And in short, this is to paint our adopted 250th, the American Revolution on each of the water towers. Moved by the Vice Mayor. We have a second by Councilwoman Bailey. Is there any public comment? I have one comment, Mr. Manager. In looking at the one seal that came in that I was looking at with the assistant today, I think to set it off a little bit on that scale, the band around the edges needs to be a little wider to define it rather than kind of a white seal on a white tower.
We're taking.
Yeah. All right. It's been moved and seconded. Roll call, Madam Clerk.
Avila. Councilman Ross. Councilwoman Bailey. Councilman Cannavon. Councilman Davis. Vice Mayor Fletcher.
Yes.
Mayor Losner.
Yes.
The motion carries.
And tab 21.
Yes, Mr. Mayor, tab 21 is a resolution of the City Council of the City of Homestead, Florida, approving an update
Go ahead.
of the Homestead Regional Park Master Plan to include
did I
soccer
do
mini
that?
pitch and updated pickleball area, providing for implementation, providing for an effective date.
Thank you. Mr. Manager?
So there are a couple of items that we need to amend the master plan to reflect the new grant-funded soccer mini pitch close to the track, as well as an increase to the count of the number of pickleball courts. So we just want to reflect that in the new master plan.
Very good. Thank you. Moved by the Vice Mayor. We have a second. Second by Councilwoman Avila. Any public comment? Seeing none, I'll close the public hearing. Let's have a roll call, Madam Clerk.
Councilwoman Bailey. Councilman Cannavon. Councilman Roth.
Yes.
Councilwoman Avila. Vice Mayor Fletcher.
Yes.
Mayor Losner.
Yes.
The motion carries.
And tab 22.
Yes, Mr. Mayor, tab 22 is a resolution of the City Council of the City of Homestead, Florida, approving an addendum to a professional service agreement between the city and Vermillo and Jamil and Partners, Inc. for RFQ number 2022-10, architectural and engineering service for the Homestead Sports Complex design, providing for implementation, providing for an effective date.
Very good. And if I might paraphrase quickly, due to the discovery of soil conditions where we asked the architects to extend the shaded area, there's got to be more research done due to the findings in that, very unexpected findings in that area. Moved by the Vice Mayor, second by Councilman Cannavon. Any public comment? Hearing none, I'll close the public hearing and roll call vote, please.
Councilwoman Avila. Councilman Davis. Councilman Roth. Councilwoman Bailey. Councilman Cannavon. Vice Mayor Fletcher.
Yes.
Mayor Losner.
Yes.
The motion carries.
Moving on to tab 23.
Yes, Mr. Mayor, tab 23 is a resolution of the City Council of the City of Homestead, Florida, awarding a bid for Avocado Villas water system improvements to JVA Engineering Contractor, Inc., pursuant to ITB 2024-14, authorizing the transaction, providing for implementation, and providing for an effective date.
And we'll waive the staff report. We've all seen this in the past. Any comments from the public? Hearing none, I'll close the public hearing. Did I hear a move? Moved by Councilman Roth, seconded by Councilman Davis. Roll call, Madam Clerk.
Bailey. Councilman Roth. Councilwoman Avila. Councilman Cannavon. Councilman Davis. Vice Mayor Fletcher.
Yes.
Mayor Losner.
Yes.
The motion carries.
Very good. Mr. Manager, anything further?
Yes, sir. I'm happy to report that I will be out of town to attend the ICMA conference that is starting up on tomorrow. So I'll be coming back to the city on the 25th of this month. In my absence, Assistant City Manager Kimar Brown will be deputizing for me. And also, like I said earlier, Pump Station 22 and the associated wastewater basin construction notice to proceed is expected to be issued tomorrow. Also, I'm happy to report that the administration had worked with the DMV, Department of Motor Vehicles to come to the City of Homestead and start the issuance of driver's licenses and renewal. It's going to be on the 8th of October, and it's going to be at the William Dickinson Community Center. This is a pilot. If it's successful, we want to make it permanent so that folks who live in Homestead don't need to travel out of city to go renew driver's licenses. You can do it in the City of Homestead. I think we were granted 40 slots, and now 45, and we started the outreach 2 days ago, and it's almost taken up by people. And folks are calling, asking, can we get more? So if you've recently tried to go to any of the existing DMV offices to renew your driver's license, it's a big hassle. You can't really get an appointment. So we are trying to see if we can institutionalize this and make it permanent in the City of Homestead for us. And also the Miami-Dade County Clerk of the Court will be hosting a second floor, which is Florida Licensing on Wheels, just like we're doing on the 8th. They hope to do theirs on the 28th at the same location as well. So this is really bringing business and bringing municipal services closer to the people that need it. And I want to also share with council that the mayor and the city manager and staff of the city of Princeton, Texas, visited the city of Homestead on the August 20th, and they just sent us a postcard extending their appreciation for the warm reception that they received while they were here to visit the cyberarium. Thanks.
Thank you, sir. Mr. Attorney.
Yes, Mr. Mayor, if I can, I'd like to request 2 executive sessions. In the matter of Manuel Torres Ramirez and Violeta E. Linderos Arona versus City of Homestead, Miami-Dade Circuit Court case number 2022-001540, and Diego Cheche versus City of Homestead, Miami-Dade Circuit Court case number 2024-017408. Thank you.
Make it happen. All right, Councilwoman Bailey.
Thank you, Mayor. Real quick, the applications are open now to submit for Firefighter of the Year. That is coming up again soon. So Chief Centeno unfortunately had to leave, but I wanted to tell him thank you so much for helping to start that program last year. We're excited to do it again. Last month, I had the honor of presenting a proclamation for Miss Mallory, one of our longstanding SWAC members who has donated countless hours and many, many years for all of her community service. And this Saturday, I get to present one thanks to Mayor Losner for another one of our SWAC members, LaWanda Bragg. She is hosting her 9th annual Sickle Cell Walk. It'll be at Roscoe Warren Park. And she is just an amazing person. 14 years ago when I had my firstborn, the nurse walked in and said, "Your son has sickle cell trait." And I said, "What does that even mean?" So obviously there is a lot of information that we still need to learn and help share. And she has just been such a great pillar in our community. She works with Homestead Hospital. They are looking to start more programs. She has hosted countless events, inviting the public out. So I encourage you, please, if you are able to stop by Roscoe Warren Park this Saturday, I would love for you all to join. 8:00 a.m. it starts. It starts at 8. That's registration, so you could come in a little after that, but not too much. And then just real quick, kudos on the employee newsletter. I know that we always do a lot for our city employees. I love the little birthday parties. I didn't see in the last news thing if there were any birthdays today. Do we have any birthdays today? Huh? Do we?
That's
Yeah.
right, I heard about that. Wow. Happy birthday.
I knew it. Happy birthday. Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you. Councilman Cannibal, anything else? All right, Councilman Davis.
Sure, thank you. I just wanted to give a thank you to our city manager and team. This budget process has been a great process. To see how it works together, to see how you're making changes to benefit our community and our city function. Process management is awesome to see those types of things coming together now. Additionally, The Northwest is so much better with the dumping of, the illegal dumping. That's really starting to work. Well, it's been working. Thank you very much for that. That is so much nicer. Thank you for that code enforcement, a shot to code enforcement going out. It's a change that is very noticeable to our citizens. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Councilman. Councilman Roth?
I got nothing.
I find that hard to believe. I'll come back to you. Yeah. Okay. Councilwoman Avila? Wait a minute. Did we
Am I
make
forgetting?
a time jump here? All right.
But
Vice
thank you
Mayor?
to staff. I do want to say sorry. Thank you so much to staff for answering all my questions and for reminding me of the things that I said I would forget and that I wanted to bring up. So I did get those reminders. And PD, continue doing a great job. I see you on the street more now than I have in the last 6 months, which is great. It means you're out there and you guys are showing the community that you're ready to serve, which you always have been, but I noticed it recently. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Vice Mayor?
Yes, thank you, Mr. Mayor. Just a couple of short items here. First, I was contacted by a colleague of mine who happens to be a graduate of Homestead High School Broncos. Same year as I was graduated South Day, 1990. She happens to be the head pharmacist at the Valencia Gardens Publix there on Palm Drive, just south of Homestead High School. And she would like to work with the city and hold a flu clinic with the city of Homestead. So through the manager and through through Wendy in HR, that we take a look at that and see what we can do if possible. Also, I'd like to bring up October is Prostate Cancer Awareness Month. We tend to forget about that sometimes. As a proud survivor of prostate cancer, let's try and remember those who've had this horrible disease and make sure anybody has any questions about prostate cancer, feel free to reach out to me. I'm more than happy to discuss it with you. I'd also like to ask my colleagues again, I know we talked about this briefly, but with the holidays coming up, the Orange Bowl Committee does an annual turkey giveaway just prior to Thanksgiving. Last year they gave away 500 turkeys and they were about 500 short. This year they want to give away 1,500, and if we can power together as a group, we can join them and maybe give away 2,000 or 3,000 turkeys at one time in a couple of different locations through the city. I think it's great if we work in unity together, and let's make this happen. If we could work through the manager's office and figure out what we have to do, we can get a hold of Eric Palms at the Orange Bowl Committee and make this happen. With that, I'd also like to ask, Mr. Powell brought up a very good point, and I know we have some different breakdowns of ethnicities and age groups throughout the city of Homestead, but if we could define and see what that senior number is, it would be very interesting to have that number for all of us. With that, I wish everybody a happy and safe evening. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Vice Mayor. Well, we've talked about it for 4 years, and we've joked about it since Assistant Manager Brown was designated with the task. I want to thank everybody who had a hand in bringing the portable podium. No, more importantly, getting rid of that giant eyesore that was in the way as the former podium and bringing in this portable podium that will make this area so much more usable when we have groups here and presentations. And I think Councilman Roth mentioned it sometime in a conversation that, yeah, this building's an evolution. And we've been here a while now, and, we can fix some of the things that, were kind of overlooked and maybe not thought through when it was done. Other than the flashing light up there. That one started flashing when the lift went out, right? Mm-hmm.
Literally 2 days later. It killed me.
My 14-year-old brain wants to say I'll bring my Red Ryder BB gun and take care of the flashing. It would be fun.
After City Hall closes, I might be here too.
You have to shut down the cameras, though. Right. Beyond that, as I've said before, the mayor has very little power and authority above and beyond just presiding over the meetings. But one of the things I do get to do, other than sign proclamations, is convene committees. And I want to announce that Vice Mayor Fletcher and Councilwoman Avila will be joining me in a three-member committee to look at, I understand there's a new proposal for, and, well, let's back up. If you don't realize it, for the public, the city council has purview over the city attorneys, not the city manager. It is, city council. So we'll be acting as a committee. The meetings will be published and noticed. Obviously, all of you are welcome to attend. There will be 3 voting members to talk about how we can better utilize the attorneys, enhance the relationship, and maintain some financial equity between the representation and the payment for the representation. It's been a very long time since anybody's taken a look at that, and it's part of that evolution that we've seen in this budget process of doing business better and more efficiently and economically. So just wanted to make that announcement. And with that, I'm sure if I had made some notes, I had something else, but that's all that I remember at this point. So with that, do we have a motion to adjourn? I
Mr.
thought
Mayor,
so.
Mr.
All in
Mayor,
favor? Yes.
Mr. Mayor, I just want to shout out to my Parks and Recreation Director, Pedro, for finally making an attempt to fix the lighting. Even though we have one of it still flashing, but he's done well. So we're hoping to finalize the upgrades, especially in the chambers and in the lobby. Thank you, Pedro.
Very good. Thank you. And not to be vain, but, and again, the modernization, the photos of the council and manager that almost every other city hall has, and county hall, so that when the public comes in, a lot of people have no idea who we are. They may know our names, they may have vaguely remembered a campaign ad, but it helps folks know who we are, who come in here to do business. So with that, meeting adjourned. Thank you all.